In May of 1787, 55 delegates gathered in Philadelphia to draft a plan for a new national government. For those taking the U.S. civics test, this is a milestone event. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? Quite simply, the Constitution was written. The delegates designed a republican system that distributed power between a strong central government and the states, using a complex web of checks and balances to prevent any single branch from becoming too powerful. But as the document moved toward ratification, citizens realized it was incomplete. The framers had built the machinery of government, but neglected to include an itemized list of individual rights. This missing roof on the country's architectural blueprint immediately put the entire constitutional project in existential jeopardy. A group known as the Anti-Federalists led the revolt. They feared that a strong central government without explicit written limits would eventually collapse into tyranny. They demanded a fire bell for the people, a set of written protections that would alert the public and legally stop the government the moment it overstepped its bounds. The survival of the new nation hung in the balance. Major players like New York and Virginia threatened to walk away, while North Carolina and Rhode Island refused to join the Union at all. James Madison, a primary architect of the Constitution, realized the document would fail to be ratified without a major political compromise. To secure the Union, Madison made a high-stakes promise. He would add a Bill of Rights immediately after the first Congress convened. In the spring of 1789, the first Congress met in New York City. Madison immediately took the floor to address the Constitution's deficiencies. Madison utilized the mechanism of the amendment. By definition, an amendment is a change or addition to the Constitution. Rather than rewriting the original text, these were proposed as supplemental additions, or codicils. These rights weren't invented from scratch. Madison synthesized centuries of English law, tracing protections back to the 1215 Magna Carta and 1689 English Bill of Rights. He distilled a massive volume of historical statutes, narrowing 19 proposals down to the final 10 amendments. This process transformed ancient European protections against monarchy into the foundational code of American civil liberties. The First Amendment acts as the protector of the mind and voice. It covers 4 essential pillars: speech, religion, the press, and the right to peaceably assemble. The Second Amendment protects the body, securing the right to bear arms for personal defense. The Third Amendment safeguards the physical home. It was a direct response to the 1774 British Quartering Act, which had allowed soldiers to be stationed inside colonist houses against their will. Amendments 4 through 8 function collectively as the protectors of due process, ensuring the government follows strict legal procedures before interfering with a citizen's life. These amendments provide practical safeguards against cruel and unusual punishment, double jeopardy, and the denial of a speedy trial. Together, these first 8 articles serve as an architectural shield, defending the bodies, homes, and minds of the people from state interference. Madison faced a philosophical hurdle. It is impossible to list every single human right on a piece of paper. He worried that any right left off the list would be considered unprotected. His solution is found in the final piece of the Bill of Rights. What is the purpose of the 10th Amendment? The 10th Amendment establishes a strict limit on federal authority. Any power not explicitly granted to the federal government by the Constitution is reserved to the states or to the people. This final amendment acts as the ultimate catch-all, closing the gaps left by the 1787 Convention and preventing the federal government from claiming absolute supremacy. Madison initially feared these amendments would be parchment barriers, words on paper that a powerful government could easily ignore. Centuries of legal history have proven those fears groundless. Today, the Bill of Rights is the primary tool used in high-stakes legal battles decided within the Supreme Court. In 2026, the Supreme Court used the Second Amendment to strike down a restrictive Hawaii gun law that banned carrying firearms in most public spaces. The court ruled the law unconstitutional, showing how 18th-century text continues to override modern state legislation to protect individual liberties. What began as a necessary political compromise is now the functional architecture of American liberty, ensuring that the roof Madison promised remains firmly in place.